just a few months ago. Certainly brand new to me when I found it. And this is Myself by Yves Saint Laurent. Weird name. I don't think anybody's going to question that. That is a very odd name, but a tremendous fragrance. I was in the Ulta store sampling some of the newer things, and really I was there to see Azaro's Most Wanted and see if they had the Most Wanted by Night. But while I was there, I also sampled some things, and this was on the shelf, and it was the one scent that I sprayed out of every scent there that I sprayed, and I went, oh my goodness, it was just stopping. And now, while I like this scent, I think it should be noted that everybody is different, and just because it stopped me in my tracks doesn't mean it's going to stop you or whoever else you would be wearing this to impress. So, let's see how it smells. Well, I know how it smells, but it's amazing. Let's get into it. Fantastic. So, you have the box here. The box is embossed Myself. Other than that, it is a very, very simplistic design. This is a 3. It says 3.4 on the websites. I don't think it's it's a 3.3. I don't know why people keep saying that it's a 3.4. I guess that's because in America we use ounces more so with our colognes instead of like milliliters or something, so we're always rounding. But yes, nothing too fancy. Now on the back you'll see something that's pretty cool. This is a trend in what I've seen modern boxes and modern colognes, that the scent is refillable. This is their way to cut down on waste and allow for a more renewable resource. And I think that's pretty cool. If you go to Yves Saint Laurent, you will see on their website that they sell a big old bottle that you can buy and refill your fragrance, which I think is pretty cool. But also, the attorney in me is also wondering that just opens it up for tons and tons of fraud. I could get a bottle like this, dump it into a cheap spray bottle, fill this up with some sort of a cheap alternative, and sell it for full price. And at the time, since this is new, it's not on too many of the discounters yet. I paid way more than I should have paid for this. I paid around $150 at Ulta, but you can see it. I found it on Fragrance Buy the other day for $100. So let's open this up. So here you see, reduce our impact. Nothing too fancy. And there's the bottle. Nothing else in here. Again, I'm not a fan, not fragrance just because I think that the bottle or the box looks amazing. So to me, if you can reduce the cost that I have to pay and give me a more simplistic design, that's fine. But of course, that's not how it works. These scents, they are able to manufacture these scents for pennies on the dollar and then sell them for ridiculous prices. But we don't have to talk about Baccarat or Creed right now. This is your bottle. And while I have the box empty, beautiful. So, this is the bottle. You have your YSL embossed there. You have your YSL embossed here. Other than that, as you can see, it is a fingerprint magnet. I've been holding this for 2 seconds and it already looks like a cloud. Badge number, all good. Now, before we get into Yves Saint Laurent, myself, which again, I can't get over that name. It's such a weird name to me. Let's go ahead and discuss a little bit about this cologne. Yves Saint Laurent is the same design house as the incredibly successful Y Men, which had a EDP Parfum, an intense version, and who knows what else they're going to come up with. I love YSL. They also, of course, were the ones with La Nuit de l'Homme, which is one of the most famous, most purchased fragrances. Actually, Yves Saint Laurent La Nuit de l'Homme was the very first fragrance that I ever smelled, period. And it's actually what got me into fragrances. And believe it or not, I don't have it in my collection. So I gotta do that. When we talk about design houses, we talk about the difference between clones, replicas, and we also talk about designers. I don't know if you've noticed, but we talk about designer clones, but we never actually talk about the designer, because the designer of this cologne is not Yves Saint Laurent. The designer of Tom Ford colognes is not Tom Ford. He's not in a lab somewhere putting together these fragrances. There are actually designers out there who go to school for this. They're very good at this, and they create colognes and sell them to brands. So, the designer, to give him his due, the designer for this scent, his name is Christophe Renaud, and Christophe Renaud has designed 152 perfumes and colognes that are in the database. Christophe Renaud also works for Gavaudan, which is a pretty big name in fragrance. Christophe Renaud has designed fragrances for Armaf, Azzaro, kind of the, I don't want to say loser scents, but the ones that didn't really do a whole lot. He's designed scents for Jupe, Jean-Paul Gaultier, Jill Sander. Probably his two biggest claim to fame is he actually was the, or at least partly credited with the design of Issey Miyake's L'Eau d'Issey pour Homme, which is an incredibly popular a very, very good cologne. And then this same creator is also credited with the creation of Paco Rabanne's 1 million. And Paco Rabanne's 1 million had a lot. Is it Rabanne? Is it Rabanne? I don't know. But he was credited with being a part of almost all of those specific colognes. Now, let's go over the note profile of Yves Saint Laurent, myself. Oh, I forgot to say, I have it right here and I almost forgot it. My favorite cologne probably by him, which is a sleeper cologne. Antonio Banderas's The Golden Secret. It literally is a secret because I've never met anybody that has heard of his cologne. If nothing else, you'll know that it makes good sound. Check this one out. $25. I might do a video on this in the future. I don't know. But he created that one. And this is Christophe's first Yves Saint Laurent fragrance. Anyways, back to it. The top notes of myself are Calabrian bergamot and bergamot. The middle note is a Tunisian orange blossom. And the base notes are ambrofix and patchouli. I love patchouli. Now, what is ambrofix? That's a great question. That is a wonderful question, and I don't really have an answer for you. Ambrofix is used, and I believe trademarked. I believe this is the group that also trademarks it, but I didn't pull the trademark. By Gavaldon, who is the company that he works for that kind of somewhat produced this. And they say ambrofix is an ambery, woody, tobacco, dry fragrance. It reminds me of when a company says proprietary blend because they don't want to tell you exactly what's in it. That's kind of what ambrofix reminds me of. It says that it is produced from a material derived from clary sage. And it also is derived from sugarcane. This is what's on their website anyways. I have the appearance, the CAS number, all that stuff that nobody cares about. C16H280. Nobody cares about that. They just care about how it smells. So, how does it smell? Well, I think it smells really good. But according to Fragrantica, which is a source that I consult to go over the notes and the designers, according to Fragrantica, myself has a 3.67 out of 5 with 986 votes, so not amazing. Not amazing at all. However, it does have over 4,000 reviews on Macy's with almost 5 stars. So, and I really like it. Plot twist, if you don't want to watch the rest of the video, I really like it. Probably should have put that at the beginning. Nice atomizer. Let's put it on some paper. That's a nice atomizer. My goodness. Yeah. So, right off the top, fruity. And I think it's kind of like if you've ever tried Fahrenheit by Dior. It's kind of like that, and I think that's what actually surprised me going back, and now that I'm reflecting on it, I don't necessarily think that it was because myself was just phenomenal. I think I was taken back by the fact that it just punches you in the face with a really sweet note, just like Dior does, or Fahrenheit does, with sort of the bubblegum kind of flavor. And this is not that. It just absolutely takes your breath away. I mean, literally, you can't breathe after you spray it. After you get over that initial boom in your face with the bergamot, it does calm down very, very fast. When it calms down, you are left with a orange blossom scent that is not overwhelming. It is floral, it's woody, it's playful, but it's not something that is going to knock your socks off as far as intensity goes. It's quite nice, and I can't remember who I heard this from the first time. I think it was a YouTuber who used the phrase perfectly inoffensive, and I think that's a good way to describe myself with. See, it's just weird. Every time I say myself, I'm talking about the cologne, but it sounds like I'm talking about me. Why would you do this, Yves Saint Laurent? I don't know if Christophe had a hand in naming these fragrances, but they're all weird names. As it settles a little bit more, the woodiness and the patchouli really come forward, and it's much more of an earthy fragrance, and that's really going to be, I've sprayed this on skin before, that's really going to be the top notes. The bergamot doesn't last that long, and the orange blossom is there, but it's not front and center. What you're getting with myself is a very sweet, woody fragrance. It's not offensive. It lasts around 5 to 6 hours for me on my skin, and there's a lot of fragrances that I can use that irritate me after a while. One of them being Versace's Eros. After an hour of smelling that on myself, I'm done smelling it on myself. This scent, I can go all the way, I say through the day. I have to apply it twice because it only lasts me a couple hours. But I could smell it all day and not get tired of it. So, what do I give YSL myself? If you're buying it for the noises that it makes, I would give it like a 2 out of 5. It's not fantastic for noises. I think the cellophane was better. Much, much better. What do I give YSL myself? Well, let's just say that I've worked it into my weekly rotation. I don't think that I have more than 2 or 3 days at a time where I don't apply it. So that should tell you that I think this scent and fragrance is incredible. I don't know if I would ever say that this is or will be more successful than Y Men, especially since they had Adam Levine, and that was during a time of advertising where when you had the coolest person, sponsor on your commercials, you won. Example, Dior Sauvage, Johnny Depp. But I think I could see them coming out with other versions of this, like a parfum. I don't think it needs an intense. I think it's very intense as is. But on a scale of, let's say, 1 to 10, I'd give it a solid 8.5, if not a 9. nothing. I think it's just the scent profile. The scent profile is great in spring, and it'd be great, I think, in summer, though I would have to test that theory. I think it could be used as a all-year fragrance, but it's not specifically a fragrance that I think should only be utilized during one season. I don't see this having a ton of success as a winter fragrance. It's not deep enough. It's not mellow enough. It's very in-your-face floral. So I think this would be more fit to spring, but you could wear it all year, I would think. And it's causing my video camera to do strange things. So I guess I have to give it a point for that. Somehow it's managing to disrupt video interference. So YSL, myself, I highly recommend it. I don't know if I'd recommend getting a cologne. I mean, hardly any cologne at $150, but it's delightful scent. Thank you. Subscribe if you haven't already, please. There will be a lot more. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and if you're still with me, I hope you have a wonderful night's sleep.